game, so pick for team fight, go hard, and either win your early game and win that way, which they've done a lot of, or pick a team fight comp and just force into Immortals and try and win with the skill you have. Because individually, their players are very talented.
Yeah, their players are actually quite good. I mean, people know Apollo is very consistent AD carry. Ninja, though, he's kind of the most inconsistent of the bunch. I think that my eyes are usually on him to see if EnVy is going to win or lose a game, because there have been times that they've been ahead and then he ends up throwing the game for them. And that's just where, with Corki out of the meta, he doesn't have that consistent pick anymore.
Well, we'll see what happens here in this draft. Team EnVy banning away Ryze and Rengar for their first two. Varus LeBlanc banned on the Immortal side. There's Talon gonna join the pack for EnVy. So not even willing to ban it in phase 2. Want to get it right out of the way now.
Yeah, this actually leaves up Camille and Shen, as well as a slew of other things, but those are the two that were banned previously that have not been banned yet, so you can ban one and get the other.
Might be a matter of Shen banned away.
So Camille is the difference, but I don't think you take it first pick. People are playing Renekton into it and having a good time.
Well, those Graves for EnVy most likely. It's maybe Camille if they want to go for it, but we'll see. But like you said, Camille could potentially be a bit unsafe. I'm kind of just thinking that Flame wants to play Rumble anyway, so I don't know if it's going to matter too much. But there's actually a Jayce for EnVy, so probably Ninja's pick, but could be Seraph's as well.
Yeah, the flex pick potential from it, quite good. Jayce primarily played mid from now, ever since the nerfs and changes, so it's interesting, but they give over the Graves to Dardoch, which a little worrisome there, because I don't know if Flame was going to pick that one up with Rumble still on the table. I don't think he would have taken the Jayce. So the Graves going over to Dardoch, very scary, because he loves carrying, and this champion is just one of, if not the best jungler right now, with Rengar, depending on if you're Rengar one trick.
Yeah, I mean, Dardoch certainly is, so I want to get that out of his hands, which Team EnVy do, but handing him Graves could be an issue. Ashe again, though, for Cody Sun is kind of curious, and EnVy are going to steal the Rumble away, so Flame going to have to play his counter pick. There's Jhin, though, for Apollo, so a bit more standard on the AD carries this time. Didn't want to get banned out like last time.
Yeah, and they've also already revealed that Jayce is, well,
mid-lane.
Actually, you know what? It may be a Rumble jungle. Who knows?
That's true. You know what? If any team is going to do that, Team EnVy probably most likely as Immortals. 10 seconds left. Might get Camille here very late. I mean, I'm not too sure how this matchup works out, but Flame is confident in almost any carry, and there's Camille.
Yeah, against Rumble, you kind of get pushed in early, and you can't really do much about it. Getting kill potential on the Rumble is difficult, but he doesn't have any way to sustain, so the maxing W on Camille, you play underneath your turret, but that means Rumble has to play really far up if you're manipulating the wave correctly, and that leaves opportunities to get ganked as the Rumble and to end up dying.
I see you've got the Camille stream today. That's your birthday present. You get to only Camille game as Kazakh's banned for Immortals here in phase 2. So we are moving into our next stage of the draft. EnVy, what are you looking at this time around? Nothing too obvious. In fact, kind of a weird first 6 picks, but they do end up being mirrored. So nothing to really ban out. Looks like EnVy going to start with mid lane, taking Syndra away from Pobelter.
Making sure he doesn't play that into what you assume is the Jayce right now. And you have to assume for the pick ban phase.
Also, junglers to potentially pinch that for EnVy, so I misspoke earlier. See if Immortals want to continue picking on that role, or if they're just comfortable with only the Kazakh ban, given they've taken Graves and Rengar's been banned.
Yeah, I had proposed that the Rumble is jungle, so I
That's true.
Definitely threw you off there, but that's the things you have to consider. It is a possibility, not very meta, anything like that, but there are some people who play it around the world.
Kind of a Malzahar ban's a bit interesting there. There's an Orianna ban for EnVy, so sticking to their 2 mid lane bans. Immortals, despite beating it pretty handily in game 1, deciding that they don't want to give that champion over to Hakuho. And there is a very strong support. There's Ahri, though, picked for Pobelter. So again, likely knows his matchup. It's almost certainly Jayce here. So last pick support will be the go for Immortals, unless I've got something with the Camille flex going on, which is another possibility. We'll see what EnVy finish their draft, though. That's kind of where we'll have to start this one. Bit of curious chance select for game 2.
Yep, and like to welcome all the viewers from NALCS 1 over to the stream. You're here for Immortals versus Team EnVy. And Immortals took game 1 off of having a Talon mid, and now they have another Assassin mid laner with the Ahri.
Well, it was a lot of fun in that first game.
It was.
So
slowed down a bit.
Might have a fun game in store once again.
That's true. The Elise for LirA, though, so now we do know that the Rumble will be going top and that the Jayce will be going mid here. So it's kind of the composition that Immortals was running, incredibly squishy for Team EnVy. So do they pick a tank? No, it's just disengage. So they have disengage, poke, pick, and then they have a bit of team fight.
Certainly looking similar. Immortals Already locked in their champions though, so again, pretty brittle team compositions on both sides. So we'll see if Olleh wants to go back to MF into that Zyra. That was an option here as well, but I don't think Immortals want to play defensive supports today. There's Olleh for round 2 on Misfortune.
Yeah, I feel like Olleh will go for the Morgana or the Misfortune if they're available for him. The Misfortune's going to help him in the matchup, allow him to have some more pressure and turn what's usually a losing lane against Zyra into a winning lane.
And certainly Cody Sun looked very good in their 2v2. Lots of good combinations. Cody Sun was playing perfectly fine in lane and then team fighting while even winning a 1v1 versus Ninja and his Echo, which we didn't really expect.
Yeah, 2 minutes in, just killed by Pobelter. Ridiculous.
It's kind of a bloodbath though in game 1, and we have opportunity for that here as well. Big damage junglers that can get aggressive. One's more gank-oriented. Dardoch may be a bit more farm-oriented, but it's Dardoch, so I doubt it. He's probably going to walk into the enemy jungle and look for your camps or you and your life.
Yeah, if it's Dardoch, you can usually bet on him being inside your jungle and being aggressive or being in your lanes. So does not like to sit on his hands, does not like to just farm. And we'll see, because LirA's actually had some pretty good games and had some pretty good instincts in terms of where Dardoch's going.
Again, LirA probably looked the best for EnVy in game number 2, so we'll see if he can make the plays happen with Elise. Also, top lane, both these teams, I think, lean on their top lane in some ways. Flame loves to carry. When he's unlocked, Immortals look significantly improved. And Seraph has always been a big player for his team. If he can have a good Rumble game here and kind of bully Flame out and avoid potential disaster in the 2v2 or 2v1 that I'm assuming will happen at some point in the top lane, and things could look good here for EnVy, but they tend to win early and then carry it through. We'll see what happens in this one, because Immortals won the early game, let the mid game kind of go, and then won the late game pretty handily.
Like you said, they lean on their top laners a bit. Seraph, he struggles a whole bunch. He starts getting behind, and then it just seems like he's flailing, but there have been times in the past, and sometimes this season, where Seraph looks like the shining star of the team. But it's the same thing for Flame. These guys have actually made a name becoming inconsistent, having their ups, having their downs, but also being hard carries for their team. So they kind of live by them and die by them.
Well, we'll see what happens here in this one. I almost feel like Immortals just said to themselves, you know what, we're going to go as hard as possible in game 1 and just try and win this one out. I mean, if you're going to test your limits, EnVy's not a bad team to go up against, but I think EnVy do want to kind of embolden themselves and do the same. The one thing they were really missing in the last game was any sort of decisiveness. So EnVy, they can be aggressive. We know they like to in the early game. I'd like to see them do it together as a team, because if you're gonna lose, might as well go down swinging.
Go down in a blaze of glory. That's how you do it.
Don't be 2016 Spring TSM. Be 2016 Summer TSM.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, both made the finals, so I mean, EnVy.
I don't know, man. I can't explain that.
Oh, still. EnVy, you have to play fast, right? Like yeah, I think the point you're getting at is you want to lose fast, because losing slow sucks.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go down, might as well make some big plays. Immortals just really dictated so much of the pace of that game. I mean, you think about the dilation of time in the middle and how much it slowed down. That was also just Immortals saying, this is our game, we're going to keep playing it, build up our pressure, and then go. EnVy, you can't let that happen to you. You have to just get in there and try and break it open. And even in the late game, I feel like they maybe could have forced a fight, but the Raptor invades somewhat continue.
Oh, warded the red.
Seraph's investigating. Does get that ward down. We saw that last game.
Yep. Dardoch could walk all the way around on his right side and go for his Krugs, or he can just say, I don't give a damn, show himself, get the red. I think it's the right play to do, because Elise otherwise invades you.
That's invaluable, so we're going to take that one. Flame already leveled that W. Going to get the passive proc there for a bit of shielding, but Rumble a very good laner, especially into melee champions, so should be expected to win the early stage of this one. Flame was bullying Seraph in the last matchup, Rumble versus Renekton. See what Seraph can get done here now on the Rumble himself. So Dardoch's running straight for his blue, though it doesn't want to get it taken by LirA, although he's actually stopping by his wolves, so it doesn't have too much information here.
Interesting. Caught onto it now. Flame actually took one of the small raptors.
You're wondering why he was level 2?
Yeah, that's why he gets level 2 alpha of 6 creeps.
Because he already had one. He was ready.
Yep. But it's interesting that Seraph would actually play that far up when the level 2 is about to come out. LirA, though, looking for a gank mid lane.
Not bad positioning. Pobelter does have his summoners. Already used the Q, so no speed. Now Ninja going to dive in. Cocoon will miss. Exhaust is down. Pobelter just going to walk away from that one after flashing.
Ninja, though, does take a big heap of damage from before. It does have the potions, of course, but now he's shown himself. And LirA is actually exposed that he's on the top side of the map, and he actually goes back to the top side of the map too. So Flame will play under the turret still. Not like he has many options, unfortunately, in the matchup.
Dual lane continues to be very frustrating for EnVy though. Cody Sun and Olleh pushing in as often as they can. Olleh getting the harass down with the Make It Rain and consistently pushing him into turret.
It's such an interesting pick when the Misfortune support just started coming into the meta after Worlds, because Zyra just wins every single support matchup, and then people are like, wait, by the way, this is a thing. And so they get to shove them under turret, and Zyra no longer has the effect that the pick normally does. Hakuho though hits level 3.
Dardoch's like, you don't want to face check me.
No.
Walks forward, gonna continue taking the Krug camp, smites the big one away, and then walks out, gets himself snared, but just gonna keep walking away. That's Dardoch.
Yeah, a lot of damage onto him though, so that means that you're gonna see LirA run all the way to the top side, maybe go for a gank, maybe go for the Krugs, maybe both. We'll see.
Krugs right now, the Poly takes another big chunk of damage between the volley and the Make It Rain plus Thunderlords there from Olleh. And Zyra plans just don't last very long when you have two people that can shoot them. EnVy's bottom lane going to have to hold steady there. In the meantime, top and mid looking decent for them. Slight CS leads in for EnVy, and LirA I think going to have to play proactively. Don't fancy this dive on the Flame, but they might try something here.
It's hard to gank a Camille because she has the E.
They're
able to dodge.
Something.
Hey, they're going to try it.
The Krug following them. Good flash from Flame. Insta-repel away. Flame's like, I'm going to keep hitting you.
Yeah, he missed the E onto the turret.
He may have.
He shot the E straight at him. Nah, I don't need this.
Well, it doesn't matter either. Flame just has to expend the summon spell. Dardoch was behind as well, so nothing for Flame to really worry about. He's out of potion charges and gonna have to get this farm and then likely back away, but first gank attempt does fail there for EnVy. See if they revisit after taking the flash.
Yep, it's the matchup right now. 3 points, of course, for Flame in the W in the tactical sweep. Gives him the heal whenever he hits minions and also the enemy champion with the edge of it. And so that's how he's going to try to sustain himself in this lane.
Olleh getting chased down kind of. Cody Sun briefly left the lane to go toward that tri-bush, but instead does return, should be okay. Now Dardoch continuing to take jungle away. Tough as Elise, though it does get the big Raptor there, so good smite from LirA. Dardoch didn't have his available to try and take. But Dardoch again just applying pressure. He's upper level here versus LirA. This is the thing that Graves wants to do. Walk into your jungle and find you and just take your stuff away.
Yeah, and the big thing here is he also doesn't have anything to take on his side of the map. So what LirA's going to do is he saw Dardoch go to the bottom right, is try to check his jungle for what he can take. He'll ward it up and he'll walk all the way through, but there's nothing there for him to actually pick up.
Dardoch is power farming now. Going to take that Gromp down. LirA wasting some time walking through what's an empty jungle currently. This is where it gets tough for Elise. Part of the reason why Graves is such a good jungler. Very safe. Stays extremely healthy through the jungle, and if he ever finds you, he probably kills you.
Yeah. Good uptime, too, in terms of staying in the jungle, staying healthy, so he can actually counter jungle, and there's really no risk on him from the camps themselves. Don't think he spotted out here until now. There, they see him.
He knows, he doesn't care. Dardoch gonna flash forward, gets exhausted instantly, and now the TP down for EnVy. Dardoch gonna have to dodge up. Pobelter's here already. Level 6 roam is good for first blood. Charming miss onto Apollo, but he's gonna keep going forward and getting himself the double. Seraph's here, but it's awfully late. In fact, he might just go down as well. No chum up for Pobelter, so he can't convert for a third kill.
Shock blast.
Ninja's gonna try something. Shock blast gonna miss. Dardoch gonna go down though. Good trade for EnVy. Picking up a 1v2 at the end of the play.
Interesting that he went onto Dardoch there instead of jumping onto Pobelter. Pobelter had really nothing left either, but he knew for sure that Dardoch's flash was down. Pobelter's, they had to time it because it's almost back up. But this here, Dardoch, the flash and then the Q to try and predict the flash out of Hakuho didn't actually root him. So the grasping roots was just short. It actually right out of range. So that's how Hakuho dies there. And Apollo gets picked up. Pobelter just massive in both these games so far. Doing a great job on these assassins, but then Ninja comes from behind. This could have been more than one. That shock blast dodge from Pobelter, and then the flash in from Ninja to try and continue. Yeah, it looks like he gets out at the end there, so Pobelter also escaping.
Yep, 2-4-1 now up in kills for Immortals. They'll find themselves up 500 gold. And I do like what you said about Pobelter leaving lanes very early, very often in this matchup. Had it on talent at level 6, now the same as Ahri, and maybe that's just where Pobelter wants to be, helping the side lanes out. I mean, if Cody Sun and Olleh are someone we look at saying, hey, these guys aren't always the best in lane. Pobelter having an impact on these side lanes huge deal for his team, given how aggressively they like to play as well.
Yeah, and he's also sacrificing his own farm for it. So Pobelter is being a big team player here, and Immortals had talked about how they lost a lot of leadership with Reignover leaving the team. And so Pobelter really had to step up in that time. They brought Dardoch on to kind of fill a shot calling gap as well, but they've been looking for Pobelter for that leadership, the only returning member of the roster. And this game, or this series, where he's roaming around and doing well in the mid lane, is paying off for them.
Well, certainly struggling in the getting poked out department and the CS department as well. Catch a decent number of minions here, but Ninja's still going to have a 10 to 15 minion lead, excuse me, as yeah, you can see part of the issue. Jayce is exceptionally strong.
Yeah,
early game.
It is hard to jump in onto an Ahri to finish her as a Jayce because of the charm, and she just throws it right down the Q path. Won't interrupt the Q anymore, but it will still charm him underneath turret or whatever he tries to do dive-wise.
Does mean that Ninja can pin Pobelter against the turret and prevent some of those roams. Pobelter did go over and get blue buff. Dardoch starting that one up. See the donation happen. Should make it a bit easier to show out the lanes as hard as possible, but now Ninja going to go back as well. Pick himself up a pair of boots, 2 longswords, and a serrated dirt. So early lethality and AD purchases, always good for Jayce. See if Ninja actually can maybe do the same and leave lane, or just continue to pressure the turret and keep Pobelter in the mid lane and unable to get to side lane.
Yeah, mid Jayce is interesting because it's kind of just like top Jayce, where you just try to go for the turret and whittle them down slowly.
Flame trying to make an outplay happen. Seraph already used his ultimate, so Flame just happy to use the sweep and get a bit of healing back. See, the CS is very even. In fact, Flame will be up if he gets all these minions at just a couple, so I'm not going to watch him miss one. That's unfortunate, but I mean, Seraph, we kind of expected to bully this lane, but Flame's actually playing perfectly fine. Doesn't seem too wide right now, and
yeah.
Seraph has used the TP back for lane, so it can't influence any objectives or skirmishes.
Well, Seraph TP'd down bottom, and then he got an assist for it, but then nothing else really happened. So that's where he relieved his pressure, and Flame actually got kind of a free lane, got to shove it all the way to the turret. Got a few hits on the turret as well. It's like maybe 2/10 down or something like that, 5th. Got to just do some damage to it, but yeah. But the mid lane Jayce, you're pretty much trying to kill your lane opponent or get their turret, right? Roams aren't as impactful as like an Ahri. He doesn't have CC. It's the reason that like top lane Jayces would always split push because they're so good at it, as opposed to, oh no, we're TPing in, versus like a Maokai TP, so much more impactful.
Yeah.
So Pobelter will roam and probably lose some CS, but Ninja will try to get the turret.
And speaking of turrets, this continues to happen. Cody Sun and Olleh looking for the first turret. Apollo
actually
get the W down.
There's
try and get a kill. Arrow is good though. He's going to stop it as his top lane. Dardoch, Seraph, and Flame all in a scuffle, and there's Dardoch with a kill on the Seraph. LirA, they're going to try and collect their trade on the other side of the map. Ninja's rotating down as well. Flashing from LirA. Olleh doesn't dodge the cocoon, tries to sidestep it, but the patience pays off and Ninja gets the kill.
And now are they going to go and try to rush for that first turret? No, it looks like they're all just backing off.
Well, Immortals going to try top lane. Yeah, Flame and Dardoch knowing they have to stay and at least get a trade here. I believe EnVy will get the first turret here. Pobelter pushing it in. Ninja's going to rejoin, but 3 members a little better than 2. And it's going to be first turret over to EnVy.
There they go. Okay, cool. It was just the Jayce backing off there, and they didn't need him, so it was the right call to have him go back to mid. But their topside jungle is forfeit. It's just going to be Dardoch picking up one thing.
Pobelter also getting nice damage onto the mid lane turret. So.
Yeah. Which, if he wasn't there, if Ninja wasn't there, then Pobelter may get this turret as well. So that was actually a really good call from EnVy to just send Ninja there. And if it ended up being that Ninja was the difference, could have been big.
Good try from Pobelter, but he's taking a little
too
much damage. Hakuho is here as well. Ninja flashes forward to try and finish it off. Truck blast not going to reach, and the TP's and Dardoch flashes forward onto Ninja as Flame stuns him out of the TP, and Dardoch collects it.
Yep. Stops him from actually going anywhere. Pobelter is here. That turret is super low. This might be another turret just going over to Immortals.
Everyone here in time. Immortals already 1,000 gold up, looking to make it 2. Taking down this turret. Hakuho continuing to get poked out.
He did the right thing, though. He got those minions. And if Apollo can get here and actually clear them out, they don't get it.
Seraph's down as well, so going to be careful. Dardoch, though, getting aggressive. Does get the wrap scan, but he gets himself cocooned. Olleh let the ultimate loose, but Dardoch is going to fall to Hakuho. And now Olleh getting chased down. Cody Sun a bit of extra vision. Good blast going flash. As Apollo eats the arrow. Equalizer committed, but Olleh escapes.
Olleh there with the flash.
Flash auto, but not the one you expect.
Well, it was nice to get himself out. Actually saves him there. as he starts running away from him.
So there's new mechanics, Zirene. Got to be on top of them.
Got to master those.
Olleh looking good. And again, bottom lane has been a bit of a disaster here for Envy, but we'll look at this play once again. Dardoch, this is just too aggressive.
Yeah, the chickens, man. You always fight over the chickens. And he turns for an auto there. Almost gets Hakuho with the ulti. But Olleh, boop. Not quite the bunny hop, but that's actually the right way out, too, because if he had gone pretty much any other direction, he goes over a a Rumble ultimate there and equalizer for at least a second.
Well, Ninja still here in that mid lane. Pobelter, though, has played catch-up in CS. Was about 20 behind at one point. Now, looking a lot closer, about 5 or 10.
Oh, here comes Flame. He's going to try to cut him off as he's going for the blue buff. Nope, actually just spends his time on the control ward.
Yeah, don't have any more vision or people either, so Ninja going to get the blue buff safely. They're going to try and get a pick in. LirA gets turned up. Really good pick for Immortals, and now the ultimatum is down. Ninja trying to get out of it, but he has to wait his turn. Pobelter forced to actually get over the wall with a dash. I did not know you could make it over that.
That was a long dash, yeah. Ninja actually knocks Flame out of the Hextech ultimatum and cancels it. So he's able to walk away and get some distance between himself and the Camille.
Get me out of the cage.
Yeah,
whacks him.
Let me out.
Well, doesn't manage to
Worked
escape. Olleh again looking for vision, but Cody Sun going to get the turret they've been working on. And this is what I've been trying to mention here. The dual lane of IMT are smashing this game.
Yeah, this series as well. Like Cody Sun has been up in CS both games. He's the highest CS in the game right now. And this guy actually fell under a lot of criticism. He's adapting to being on stage, though. And this week, though, he has played against Envy, and he did play against Youngbin. So temper expectations just a little bit, but it is looking better. It's not this gigantic liability in the bottom lane. And I will say Olleh as well, low-key, has been actually looking better and better.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty aggressive dual lane they picked, but it's worked out, at least in game one, and looks good here as well. Immortals, off the back of all that pressure, are going to get themselves the mountain. Drake, Seraph, working on his own turret. Flame happy to concede this, but IMT going to take one extra in the exchange. And there's that mid-outer turret that Pobelter worked on. So again, Immortals pushing out their lanes, giving up the lane that they know they can't really threaten here in Flame and letting Seraph take this turret. Dardoch continually played to this bottom side of the map. It's got him killed in this spot quite a number of times already. But Immortals are kind of doing what you need to do here. All these pushing lanes are enabling Dardoch, and the rest of the team are playing well together.
Yep, and the fact that they have those pushing lanes, they have those winning lanes. But I think like Flame, his lane is kind of sacrificed in the Rumble matchup, like you said, so he's not visiting the lane at all. But they have the winning matchup bottom. They have the misfortune into the Zyra, so that's where he was making those plays. The bottom lane has actually died, and you can see that Dardoch has put himself at risk a lot. 2-2 and 2 as his scoreline. Most deaths on his team because he's taking the risks.
I mean, Dardoch will always take them, it feels like. Good equalizer onto Olleh, but the arrow is landing. LirA repels out under it, but the exhaust is done as well. Heal burnt by Cody Sun. Going to try and save his support, but now the Jhin ultimate's going to get added in. Olleh dodges one, can't dodge the next one, and LirA just kills him with a Q.
Sometimes you just gotta let your AD carry have it. I'm like, I know LirA's performing really well, but the fact that Cody Sun is ahead of Apollo is something you do have to be conscious of. Apollo has just picked up assist after assist. He's got 100% KP right now. He's the only person on his team to have that.
Well, certainly been looking good there. Envy continuing to fight back. Gold lead up for Immortals, but not huge as Olleh. You wouldn't think this would cost you, but didn't have too much vision here.
Yeah, it's a really good ultimate from Flame, because... Or sorry, I'm Seraph, sorry. It's a flaming ultimate, but... Ooh, it's a good dodge, too. Okay, you know what? He earned that one. I'll give him that. You can take that one. I'm a jungler, and I think he even earned that one. Normally, I'm just like, let your AD carry have it. No bias here for giving it over to the rest of your guys.
Damage building up for LirA, so don't think you'll get to Dardoch status quite as quickly.
That's true.
First game, but certainly on track to take out some of the squishier members of Immortals, and they're all kind of squishy with the exception of Camille, although Flame does have the early Trinity Force, so certainly more of a bruiser. Does dodge himself out of the way. Gathers to the wall correctly this time, and pretty tough to track down here. Flame with his ultimate and his flash up as well, so not a whole lot MD can really do, but LirA at least applying some pressure. Cody Sun now transferred to the mid lane. Gonna get those lanes pushing, and Pobelter back on the side lane.
They might go after the top lane here. Yeah, they are.
Yep, Dardoch here. Flame already got the ultimate down. Seraph trapped in for a little while longer. Now finally gets out, but he's forced to flash out of the way. Flame going to keep chasing. Oh, he misses the wall, I think, but he flashed on. That was an interesting one. I'm going to try and get the 1v1, but EnVy here to answer. LirA does take out Dardoch, and Flame now caught in a 2v1. Seraph doesn't go down. Arrow lands in onto Hakuho over there. Might actually buy enough time for Flame to live here. Going back in onto LirA, but he gets himself cocooned. Adaptive defense is not enough. LirA on a killing spree.
Crazy play there, and EnVy end up coming out on top. Seraph plays that so well, and LirA gets there in time.
Really nice, but Pobelter and Olleh almost teamed up to take down Ninja. Didn't get the tier 2 turret either, but you can kind of see where these teams are applying their pressure. Immortals have had so much focus on this bottom side of the map. Their bottom lane's been winning. Dardoch's been invading this side. Pobelter's pushing down, and now he's down in that side lane. In the meantime, Seraph, he's winning his lane. They're going to try and win it as hard as possible.
I remember we were talking about, never gank a losing lane, and top lane is losing right now. Flame is definitely behind on Seraph, and Seraph, he's on the Rumble, who, he didn't really hit the traditional 2-item power spike of I have boots, I have haunting guys for spell penetration. So Seraph, maybe he's a little less threatening than they thought, or more threatening than they thought. But Dardoch throws it out, not there in time to actually use a combo or anything like that, or get the ultimate off. Flame doesn't even make contact with the wall, it looked like. Seems off, but yes, he doesn't. And then Seraph gets out in time because Hakuho is there, and LirA killed Dardoch on the side.
Flame so wants to be a hero, but
so good. LirA, man.
It was really good.
Whew. That was actually so good because he threw the cocoon at the wall because she's going to fly at you and get the stun off, and that was so good. That was amazing.
Well, Dardoch smoke treads get him out of that sticky situation. It looks like a lot of the vision that was there has dropped off. Cody Sun in trouble. Forced a flash. Now against the wall. Not a good place. Just run away. Oh, they're going to protect him. Does manage to stay alive.
Yeah, I don't know if he threw the arrow and tried to hit the Jhin. So I think it, yeah, it hit Seraph. Seraph body blocked it for Apollo.
Yep. Used to see that with the Bard ultimate. Kind of a similar concept there for Ashe, although a lot harder to hit because they can, of course, be blocked by your opponents. Ninja getting blue buff. That was good for him as well. And he's kind of getting there on the item front, although Pobelter casually at 3-0-1 with a very good point of power for himself.
Casually performing the best on his team so far, save for Cody Sun, who's up in 30 CS, but hasn't really been a part of these picks, 20 CS at this point.
Again, just Immortals taking their side lane farm. They seem to have these kind of, not lulls in the mid game, but they certainly slow it down. They want to play the map and kind of win. Well, clearly they are very good at doing this. I will give them credit for. As a caveat, kind of only went ahead or often went ahead. But when they fall behind, again, they tend to drop pretty far off that cliff.
Yeah.
But Immortals really good at this sort of clean rotational play. Pobelter's been in that side lane. He'll continue to be there until Immortals find an opportunity. Mountain Drake up in 5 seconds. Looks like one.
They're looking for a pick here. Dardoch, they know that he's there. Elise off on this side, hits him with a cocoon.
Who's picking who? Zirene, Dardoch over the wall.
Actually returns a large amount of damage there. Cody Sun does have the ultimate now, so if he can actually get his sneaky arrow onto somebody.
Camille returning down to the mid lane, Flame booking it down as soon as possible.
Pobelter just passing through.
Might be enough here. Immortals are in position. EnVy, I think, have to find the fight. They can't really get onto the objective, although they do have vision supremacy now. See what Immortals want to do here.
And Dardoch healed up from all of the damage that he took earlier. LirA has not. Ayala just took a small little chunk there. Let's see.
Dardoch wants to go in. Arrow is going to hit it to Apollo. Really nice. Pobelter's just straight in, but he's going to go down. His Omni's going to get committed after the exhaust, and he keeps going for it. Wants to get the kill. Jayce gets a shutdown though on Flame. Was looking for the flank, but he's just a little late. Apollo going to find the ultimate and snipe down Cody Sun. LirA and Dardoch fighting again, and Dardoch barely wins that duel. W not going to connect for Apollo.
Seraph.
Immortals 2 for 1 down as Seraph going to try and chase it in.
Oh, he's trying to get it.
Ninja takes it down with a shock blast.
Yeah, that's actually a bit of a win there for EnVy. They take out 3 for 1, and I think they got that Drake. Yeah, they did.
Immortals just couldn't get in position in time for a team fight. EnVy had good vision, sweeped it all out, and then forced Immortals to come to them blind.
And Pobelter fell for it. Pobelter did exactly what almost happened to him previously with Talent. You jump in, but this time it's the Ahri, and they have double exhaust. Hakuho has an exhaust, and Ninja. So this is really kind of bad. The Ahri jumps in, and this looked really good, but then the exhaust comes out. He has to blow the Zhonya's, and then Apollo flashed away with the Ignite on him, and he's able to reset and restart this fight. And then I like how LirA is fighting on the side, and then that kill comes out from Apollo. If Apollo dies there, that kill doesn't come through. They still have some pressure. Those shots don't come through. So it's just that difference in damage there, which changed it.
Dardoch got 30 gold for his trouble. It does fall down to the shock blast. I guess he's doing what he loved best, stealing EnVyUs Raptors.
He got the chickens. He did it.
Not all of them, though. He'll be back, don't you worry. Pobelter and Ninja meeting in another side lane for our second game in a row, but matchup feels a bit more even this time. Pobelter not nearly as far ahead as he was on Talon, and Ninja can return a lot of damage on the Jayce, close to the echo he had in the last game. So IMT looking to make something happen here, maybe. Pobelter needs to land this charm. This is the first one. Gonna keep dashing forward. Ninja's gonna flash out of the way. Seraph's here to defend and might even turn around.
On Pobelter.
Damage is down. Seraph, ooh, he's getting cracked out too much. Dardoch deals so much damage. Good zone is there from Pobelter. Dardoch needs to protect his mid laner, does do so successfully.
Apollo is shooting at Olleh.
Oh, Cody Sun saves his support. Well done there.
Deathfire Touch ended up doing a lot of damage at the end there, too. Really risky. Cody Sun doesn't even throw out the heal for him. Knows he's okay.
So he gets confusing sometimes with two marksmen in the bottom lane. You don't know which one's which one's the bot laner. Cody Sun reverses roll briefly and should save the other marksman.
But yeah, I feel like that might have been just all of the damage from the curtain call there, because Apollo's at those two lethality items against the support.
Pretty squishy support at that. In the meantime, Flame did get the bottom tower though, so he's starting to exert split push pressure, which is never what you want to see.
He's fed.
Big damage with the Hextech Ultimatum. Ninja can get out with a Thundering Blow, but it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. This is what it looks like when the Camille actually has a good matchup for herself where she plays it back. This Rumble is going to punish her early, but the TP from Seraph early stopped his pressure onto Flame. Flame is now 2 levels up, CSing a bit better.
And Flame playing quite a bit safer there, although does get himself Cocoon, going to sweep away, trying to turn it around, but he's exhausted. LirA, oh, good flash out. He just needs to use the E, does get through the wall. Repel's not there in time, and Immortals are straight onto Baron.
Wow, okay, they're going straight after it. They're going to have to back off here. Apollo, pretty close, but yeah, that's interesting. Interesting that they are like, all right, they called us on our bluff. And that's going to be the turret.
Immortals doing the right thing with Flame's pressure. Flame overstayed a little too long, didn't have quite enough vision to face check where he did. But getting himself a solo kill, took the tower earlier, and Immortals were setting up the play on this top half of the map. You can see Pobelter getting the push started again. Immortals think they can fade back to Baron and try and take it. Flame, though, gets himself caught a little too long. Can't buy enough time for Immortals to secure that objective. But again, heart's in the right place there for Immortals as far as the play goes. They're 2,500 gold up, but continuing to play Envy around the map. And Envy, at some point, they just need to force. They've got damage. The gold is much closer than it was in the first game. So if you know Immortals are going to go to Baron, just go there and fight them.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
What happened?
I was looking at the Scrying Orb. So what happened is the Scrying, there was actually no vision there, and Immortals could have continued to do the Baron, but the Scrying Orb actually revealed for long enough they saw Dardoch walk out.
Another 1v1, dodges for a little while, but LirA gets the kill. And that's what Flame shouldn't be doing in the bottom lane.
1v2, it kind of sucks. And they don't have position on Baron to actually punish on the top side of the map, so Immortals actually get nothing out of that.
Scrying Orb though, what happened?
Yeah, it actually just revealed the area for long enough. They killed it, but there were no wards as well in any other capacity for Envy in that area. But they saw Dardoch leave the pit because he got low. That's all they needed to see, so they kept pushing mid. If that didn't happen, maybe they show up there, or maybe Immortals actually continue onto it.
Well, see what happens for the next advance onto Baron. Infernal Drake also up if the team's got a different objective to fight over in 55 seconds. Olleh booking it back home though. Oh, the Telbot from Seraph.
Where's home?
Olleh doesn't have a flash. He's gonna be saved again by Cody Sun. Nice Ashe arrow. Commits the heal as well, just in case. Didn't want to get taken out by the Jayce Shock Blast. Maybe around Baron though, looking to threaten Pobelter. A good flank positioning on the left. Flame busy dealing with the minions on the bottom lane, but he does have his teleport if he wants to join.
He's also at that 2-item spike where he has the Titanic Hydra, and he also has the Trinity Force. So he does so much damage, he clears so quickly, and then he can continue to split push. One of the best parts about Camille.
Good charm again.
Hold on.
Ninja still dealing damage. Pobelter trying to
too.
get out of a 1v2. Pobelter does have everything available. There's the first dash. First to get it around. There's another, but the exhaust is going to make it so tricky. Seraph gets himself his kill.
Seraph, last time he tried to do that, he actually got charmed before his Zonias. This time he's like, I'm half HP, I'm going to do it now.
And now EnVyUs straight into Baron. Really good conversion. Just after one kill. Flame instantly tries to get there, but the damage is too much. Envy take Baron.
Will they try to continue and fight them afterwards? Flame kind of tracking, but I don't think he'll go.
That's the kind of play you love to see from EnVy, though. Very proactive.
Yeah.
Reads the situation on the map, takes the kill, and then instantly decisively goes to the Baron. They take it, but even if a fight started, I think EnVy would have stayed to play it out.
Really good call from EnVy there. And Immortals have to take that Infernal Drake as a prize. Kind of no consolation.
I mean, you know, still get a medal for second place, but it's second place.
Yeah, second place doesn't get anything in the standings here.
Well, LirA and Hakuho now sweeping back throughout their jungle. Baron though up for 250, so we'll see what damage EnVy can get done. Pretty close as far as the overall gold goes. EnVy even the game back up by taking that Baron, but have a turret that Immortals have on them, and then plenty of extra damage they can do across the map. So EnVy looking to get a big lead in this game now that they've kind of got themselves back into it with that nice decisive Baron call.
And they still have team fight potential as well. It's hard to engage onto them with the double exhaust, so Pobelter trying to dive in isn't really a great idea. Same thing with Flame. Like, that's how you start these fights, is that Ashe arrow into a combo with Olleh. Or if you don't have that, well, Pobelter has to dive the back line, and so does Flame. But the double exhaust really puts a damper on that. The Zyra puts a damper on that. I actually really think that Zyra is probably Hakuho's best champion right now. Usually when he plays it, he gets the highest damage on the team, and you're just like, wait, what? Okay. It's so strange, but I definitely think it's his best champion right now. It's meta. It's something that allows him to be another threat on the team too, and to keep his carry safe like Seraph Ninja.
Certainly drawn bans from him before, so is strong on the champion. Pobelter getting tagged by Apollo's W, but no snare there to follow up with. Immortals did take a turret though, now evening up that score after taking down the bottom lane tier 2, and not done at all. EnVy still have half the Baron buff to play with. Gonna want to try and take at least that top tier 2.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing right now. They're kind of clearing out vision. They've used half their Baron, over half their Baron buff.
Dardoch got committed here, I think. Pobelter getting burnt down, but Seraph does dodge the arrow. Hits it into Hakuho instead. Olleh letting rip, but LirA missing that cocoon as Olleh did flash out of the way. Ninja the chasing down, gets the kill with the tower dive. Now Pobelter goes in, but he misses the charm.
Yeah, it doesn't hit the charm, doesn't keep him underneath turret. They got to pick in the jungle there. So EnVy, now they get to start pushing out that top side. They chunked out Pobelter as well. It's going to be a long time, though, before this turret gets to that top. It'll be about 15 seconds plus.
Yeah, Sidewave's not really in the position EnVy need. Again, not the strongest macro team in the NALCS, but able to brute force down a pick. Happy to convert into an objective before with the Baron. We'll see if they can still get stuff done. Like I said, EnVy, they kind of just need to start some fights.
Yeah, EnVy, out of that Baron, they pretty much just get the Baron value of gold. Seraph goes up here. Unsafe route. Look at the position of the rest of the team on the map. Jayce isn't there yet. Now everybody has to collapse. Great ultimate there from Seraph. Dardoch stays on it to try and kill him. Arrow comes through, hits Hakuho, and then this almost kills Hakuho, almost gets Seraph, but they both get away from it with flashes. And then Pobelter not quite follow up there.
Doesn't land that charm. Seraph still guiding minions towards the bottom side with the Baron buff, but it's only 10 seconds left, so one turret and the Baron gold. Not a huge play here for EnVy, but
I'll try to get more here. They have the Jayce, so he'll do a ton of damage to this turret. They're finally there.
They've got this for not quite one wave. Does drop off now. IMT clean out the rest of the wave. Second cannon on the way, but cleared out instantly by Cody Sun and Olleh. So we'll reset the map a bit. EnVy up 1,000 gold.
Yep.
Isn't too bad, but that's it. They've got a lead, and that's a pretty small one.
Yeah, and when you kill the Baron, you get 1,500. You get 300 for each person. So it's almost like you get the value of acing the enemy team at 300 apiece. So that's pretty much what they got out of it, as the gold lead is 1,300 right now.
Evened up the gold, though, so that's good for EnVy, and demonstrated that, hey, we can make a proactive play. You can see how far behind they were, because
definitely
that was a pretty big power play.
Yeah, I actually thought it was more even than that, and I apologize, because as a 6,500 Baron power play, they ended up getting a decent amount of those turrets. Got a few kills on it, too. It was a little bit deceptive there, but it put them in the game, like you said.
Dardoch, they're going to clear this out. There's a Mountain Drake on the way, which Immortals would love to take for themselves. EnVy back in position to try and force a few more plays, though. Scaling up well. Apollo does have that Infinity Edge, so we have started to see Jhin kind of go back to some of these items. Not everyone's not really going full lethality anymore. Even Ninja mixing it up a bit. He's actually really strong on the Jayce with a good amount of CS behind him, so poke is going to hurt probably the most it will all game long.
Oh, okay. So I was looking at the Baron, and I was like, they weren't that far behind. They got that much gold during it, apparently, for some reason.
Makes sense. Cody Sun dodging out some ultis, though. More of my multi is procs. Definitely aware of wanting to play defensively here, at least with some itemization. Dardoch, again, taking those Raptors, but LirA gonna try and punish him for it. Nothing left to take now, though, but EnVy are moving in towards this top quadrant. Flame is actually busy on the bottom side, though. As you can see that gold difference back and forth. It's been relatively close, but EnVy find themselves in the lead. Seraph goes down to answer Flame in the bottom lane, so should be able to get some work done there. And that next Drake is up in 55 seconds, so EnVy love themselves a second Mountain. Immortals will have 2 good Drakes of their own. Might be able to get the Drake lead, and then of course Elder Dragon will spawn after that, so only 1 Drake left up for grabs here in this game, which is starting to go relatively long at this point.
Yeah, these games, I mean, it's definitely a symptom of the teams not being able to play macro at the highest level. They're definitely playing well around each other, but it's finding out those small advantages they have over their lane opponent or who has an advantage over another. Like Flame, I think one of the reasons that when Flame is ahead and he does so well is because it's kind of his default to go split push and go do something. That's how he got that bottom tier 2 turret. It was just his default. But hold on.
Good catch on the Hakuho. Pobelter flashes straight in. Exhaust won't save you this time.
And that's exactly what they need. I was talking about their engage. Just Cody Sun with an arrow. Olleh following up maybe. And then Pobelter as well. But the exhaust is really risky.
Dardoch has caught Seraph though. Heal committed by Apollo to save his top laner.
That's Mountain.
Dardoch can take down the Raptor camp.
Every time. Got to take the chickens.
Hey man. Gives you the most CS.
That's true.
Doesn't it? Does Krugs give more?
Krugs gives 10.
Oh my god.
So it does give more.
It's all through as many minutes as it takes to get the camp. So.
CS to time ratio, chickens are much better.
Immortals there with a second Mountain Drake for their trouble. Nice pick, nice objective. Immortals again continuing to keep themselves up in this game. Gold lead, I'm going to say means practically nothing at this stage. So
yeah.
We're looking at how these teams execute around the big buff that just spawned.
Yep, that Baron up now. Ninja will clear out the top side. Seraph looking at Flame, trying to deal some damage, but will he be the one who's caught?
Stun out there. Seraph getting chunked down. That's big damage. Flame gonna proc that GA. Dardoch though goes down. Ninja and Apollo teaming up there for that one. Flame is reviving back in. Good dash out with the tether. Pobelter dashing out as well.
Oh, the Deathfire!
That's enough. Deathfire touch in. Ninja flashing forward. There's a flash kill for Apollo as well.
EnVy start cleaning up house. That's gonna be Baron for them right there. No Dardoch, no Smite, just Olleh and Flame.
No problem at all there. Plenty of damage as well. EnVy shredded the Baron the last time they took it. And Olleh is only here with not a lot to offer. Nope. No ultimate even, just to be annoying. Make it rain? No, wait!
The support steals with Make It Rain. It's like, that thing ticks. You can still wait for it to just go away. LirA
smites it down though, and Flame wanted to get something started here. Seraph got pretty exploded.
Yeah, Hakuho isn't here, so this actually looks like a good fight for EnVy, or for Immortals, but they get split here, Olleh over the wall, and then Dardoch gets blown up because Ninja does so much damage. Goes in, almost kills Flame, but then the W counts as a single target spell, so Deathfire Touch, full duration, full damage. And that 700 crit there from Apollo had the Infinity Edge, I believe, at that point.
Yeah, he did, but I don't think he had the rapid fire cannon, which is now what he's finished.
Right.
You can see
he just had a Brawler Squad.
Most damage in that last team fight for Apollo. There's double marksman coming in real handy for EnVy.
Look at that. Hakuho, 0 damage. The big fat goose egg there in that fight. He didn't do anything because he wasn't there, and so that was a 4-on-5 that Immortals thought they could take off of the back timer of Hakuho, but it just turns out that EnVy just placed their ultimates in better positions, and Ninja and Apollo's damage, very deceptive when there's nobody building really full tank on this squad. Flame got blown up right off the bat.
Just can't afford a face check.
Yeah, and Flame also mostly took magic damage there from the Rumble. So he's actually itemizing towards armor with the Ninja Tabi and also having the Randuins.
Ninja, Flame again, going in onto Ninja. Should be a good catch. Great arrow from Cody Sun to set it up. And he deserves a shutdown. He will get it.
Yep. And I don't know what they're really fighting for there, because top side is their better side right now with tier 2 still up. The easier objective to get.
Little messy in the execution of that push. EnVy gonna have to buy themselves a bit more time. Still Baron buff with 1:45 left. But Immortals just need to delay and let the duration of that buff tick down. So gonna chill for a little while longer, but EnVy again still up in gold. 3,000 gold is actually a better looking lead, I'll say.
Yeah. I will say though, like there's a misconception of when you're playing defense, you play back on your side of the map. But what Immortals are doing, they're playing defense while the Baron buff is up, is looking for the pick. They get the pick, and now they shove bottom lane all the way out. Because in order to, the time that it takes for a minion wave, even just to walk all the way down the lane and get to the other side, is going to be about a minute there, where he just treks it all the way down bottom lane. So you push it this far, and then you don't have to worry about your bottom lane for the rest of the duration of Baron buff.
Yep, generally all you want to do when you're trying to defend against Baron is waste your opponent's time. Whether that's walking around the map trying to find you, clearing out minion waves that you pushed all the way down there, and Immortals managing side waves really well. And that's been, I think, a trademark of their play in general this season, but certainly in this series. They're really good at understanding the map, how to push them out, how to start a lot of good slow pushes, and that's why a lot of their wins have had kind of dilated mid games that have looked very clean, and while some of their losses have looked like very messy, scattered, we don't know what to do losses, because when they don't get everything prepped up correctly, it just looks a lot worse. It makes sense.
Yeah, prep is a huge part of this. Like, the prep is sometimes hard to appreciate for the macro play, whether it's pushing out your side waves or getting control of the objectives and placing down vision, because it's always about minutes before the play happens. And then you're like, oh man, it just so happens they have this pushing top wave. Like, oh wait, how did that happen? And you have to go back and watch it, because you can't appreciate it in the moment. You're kind of like, oh, they have this gigantic wave that they can push now. But it's like, who did that?
And we do get 1 turret out of the deal though, so 6 turrets to 4 as Baron buff just wears off. Immortals though, like you said, lose pretty much the minimum on that play, in part due to their pick, and in general just keeping EnVy occupied on the other side of the map. EnVy do the smart thing, push on their strong side and get themselves a turret, but Elder Dragon's going to be up in a minute 5. There'll be a Baron in a number of minutes after that as well. And teams are still pretty close in gold. You can see inventories stockpiled with all sorts of goodies. These are high damage teams, so very volatile team fights.
Elder Dragon in a minute will be incredibly important for both teams. One for denial for EnVy, to keep it away from Immortals. Immortals, that's really how they get back in this game. Hold on though, get back in the game. Seraph!
Play again being made. That should be a kill.
Flash.
Ooh, good flash, but Pobelter gonna chase. Does get the kill, but has to run away further. Jhin ultimate's gonna need to be blocked by Olleh. He's taking it, but he's forced to flash out from under to the skies. Apollo catching Dardoch though, he's getting caught a little too far forward. Dardoch tries to make the play to kill him, but it doesn't work out. Teleport in though, Flame gonna lock up LirA. Doesn't put the ultimatum down, he got stunned out of the cocoon as well. Flame is pretty powerful, but he doesn't want a 1v3.
Yeah, he's late as well. And it feels like a play that he should have been present for a long time ago.
He's busy with top wave, prepping that up. Elder Dragon's up, but Dardoch is dead. This is not an objective Immortals can take right now.
Yeah, he was top, shoved it all the way in. So what he does is he'll shove the wave and then he'll TP in, but the reason is if they lose the fight, then there isn't a top wave to push in. There's no wave that they can push in. It'll take them longer to get there, and then the death timers are usually back up by then.
Looks like Dardoch, with only 20 seconds left, will be out of the death chamber in time, but we'll let this one again. Dardoch again just going in for it.
Yeah, Dardoch going in, he had the help of Pobelter right there. Seraph, nice flash, but it's still not enough because he gets hit by, honestly, both right there. He got hit by Pobelter and the ulti. And Dardoch, he's trying to go on a mission here to, like, get Apollo. Apollo gets interrupted. Ugh.
Yeah.
We've all done it. We've all done it. Sometimes those walls look a little bit smoother than they are. The hitbox pops out, jumps right out in front of you.
Betrayed by a few pixels. Dardoch wants to be a hero, does not complete the play, and gets himself killed.
Yeah, the Ashe arrow did come through from Cody Sun and interrupt Apollo on that ultimate. So it was a good arrow there, but maybe it would have been enough for Dardoch to actually have a good combo. And it turns out Dardoch didn't really need to use the ulti either to kill Seraph. So there's a perfect world where Dardoch does get the play and it's different.
I mean, the play looks, the theory behind the play is fine, but do you do that? Is I think the biggest question. And if you're Dardoch, the answer is always a resounding yes.
And then I think he just says it's execution that was the issue. I think
that's what he'll tell you.
I mean, 4 and 7 as a scoreline. 4, 7, and 3. Execution was the issue. I'll say that every time.
Dardoch, as always, he is doing things. What you think about the things is up to you. But Dardoch, he makes things happen, good or bad.
Yeah, that's true.
And now he's getting chased, so see what he makes happen here. Looks like an easy escape over the wall, but EnVy onto the Elder Dragon, not yet, but in the area at least. Again, clear the vision out, threatening Immortals, kind of making them come in, and every time someone walks through a choke point, Ninja's ready with a lot of poke.
Yeah, but keep looking at how Immortals play this, because now they can't actually go to that top wave without risking anything going over, but if EnVy come to the Baron, they can clear it out if they want.
So EnVy is straight onto the Baron, or at least in the area. Flame, yeah, he's going to see them start it up. Fork shot as well is going to reveal them, and EnVy just going to chunk it down. Dardoch is so far away. Baron is dead. Another decisive call from EnVy nets them a Baron buff.
Oh, this is the point in the game where if this decision goes through, because it's double Mountain Drake, I don't know if they have enough damage here. Cody Sun's going to get slowed down.
He's caught. Ultimate block by Seraph. They're going to keep going in. Olleh eats almost 800 damage off that one bullet. Dardoch gets even more poke. Have to run out from under the Elder.
Speaking of 800 damage, now they have a gigantic winning wave top for EnVy. They have mid control, and they just saw Dardoch. They saw him back.
You're a crazy person.
They saw him back.
Why are you backing in that spot of all places? Very risky, but EnVy is going to collect the Elder Dragon instead. Immortals don't have enough to fight back here. And EnVy, 2 huge buffs to try and close out the game with.
Yeah, Immortals dropping the ball there, but also I think EnVy playing the map a little bit better in that situation where you're pulled between Baron and Elder Dragon. Elder Dragon is definitely a harder buff to do in terms of it's longer. It takes longer to do. It has more HP. With a single Mountain Drake as well, able to burn down with the Jayce, take that Baron, then they're able to run through, and I think they played it correctly with Apollo setting up the ultimate and slowing down Cody Sun. No way that they could get their AD carry to that and kill it fast enough.
I mean, they're doing the straightforward stuff as far as macro goes, but I mean, EnVy, I said all they have to do is be decisive here, and they've managed to do it 2 times in a row now. They've been around the Baron area, they've made the quick call, and they've just gone straight for the Baron. Immortals caught unawares, combined with just a good call from EnVy, netted them yet another Baron move, and they got the Elder Dragon out of this side as well. So they should be able to bust this game open and maybe even end it, given the strength they have. We'll see what Immortals can do on the defense, but this looks tough. Yeah. Equalizer down, almost killed Cody Sun. Ultimate still moving out. Flame almost going to go down here. Might lose the GA, but the turret's busted open.
He did lose the GA there. The Deathfire touch and a little bit of that residual from Seraph's ultimate equalizer. Look at that. We blinked for a second. They're both gone.
Just do so much damage. True damage burn from this Elder Dragon. Deathfire touch.
Oh, yeah.
Equalizer damage. I mean, there's 3 Leandries on this one team. And 6 items on 2 different marksmen. EnVy are not short on DPS.
Not at all. Not in the slightest. That's what their composition thrives with. No tank, though, but it doesn't seem to matter here.
Immortals don't have much of a tank either, and they can't find the angle on these engages. Dardoch again trying something with a flank, but Pobelter's already dead. Dardoch is just chilling out in the brush. Finally goes back towards his team through the base gate, but that's 2 inhibitors down. EnVy going to keep pushing in. Baron buff up for still 50 seconds.
And Ninja is showing why Jayce is just so disgusting. I'm surprised he actually made it through pick bans a few times today, because if you can play him mid and you can actually round out your composition with multiple sources of damage, he takes turrets quickly with his W, and then also those are like 800 plus damage Qs through acceleration gates. It is disgusting. Yeah. I'm having flashbacks to back when Nidalee was an AP mid laner that would chunk people.
I mean, I feel like the thing we look at here is like, Rumble Jayce is that combo that people want, but Flame is going to make a desperation play. Instantly gets out of the way. Olleh does incredible damage with the ultimate. A big equalizer is going to separate them all. EnVy just going to take it all here. Nexus exposed, a double kill for Apollo, and EnVy going to push it to a final game.
Game 3 coming up for EnVy and Immortals. Back and forth so far. It has been a struggle game for both of these teams. We saw Immortals break the game open by having a sneaky Baron in Game 1, and in Game 2, it was EnVy getting a pick, leading to the Baron for themselves. And I think that was definitely a much different game in terms of standout performers there. Ninja not having Pobelter get the better of him, even though Pobelter had a really good start to the game, Ninja scaled incredibly well, landed the shock blast that he needed to onto a tankless composition that has the Camille, but Flame is always split pushing. Flame is showing up via TPs. If you're playing against a team that's going to poke you with an Ezreal or a Jayce, you need somebody with armor to stand in front to absorb shock blasts that aren't going to do 800, but maybe like 300 damage to him instead, because that ends up being, oh, we can't fight anymore because I got hit by a shock blast.
Yeah, and it just feels like maybe it was a product of the draft, but Immortals, when they're not ahead, I mean, they didn't like massively lose that game or anything, but it just felt like they were sitting around twiddling their thumbs, not doing much of anything. And that's the symptom of Immortals that are losing to me.
Yeah, it feels like Immortals they tried a few things where it's like Cody Sun gets an arrow and they engage, and that's where they start. And then they tried, okay, Pobelter goes in, he got exhausted, that sucks. Flame goes in, that sucks, he got exhausted and he can't kill anything. So it came down to really their only good source of engage was Cody Sun with an Ashe arrow, and then that ended up not being enough to kill people in an Ashe arrow, and people started absorbing it. So they weren't able to get any clean engages when they were ahead, and then it got to the point where EnVy just had way more keep away, where if you did dive in, Zyra is going to disengage you, Jayce is going to poke you from afar, and so those team fights just started going EnVy's way, and they played them well.
Looked really good for EnVy. Certainly did play them well. For a deeper dive into the EnVy victory, though, let's check in with Freak and Mark Z.
Thank you very much, Pastry, and we've got a Game 3 coming up on our hands, but first let's talk about Game 2. Immortals were winning, and then they stopped winning. EnVy, of course, great comeback by them. What do you think?
I mean, it was what looked like a great game for Immortals. We know that they're a little snowbally, and they had some good plays with Dardoch and Pobelter getting involved early. I think Pobelter was up 3 kills at some point, and they had a good dive bot lane. It didn't go perfectly, where they ended up going 2 for 1, but they were at least like pushing minion waves in the turret. Cody Sun was doing decent in lane as well. They had the Misfortune counter pick against the Zyra.
Right.
And for the most part, things looked like it was going well for Immortals before it kind of came off the rails.
Right, so you can pull up the team comp graphic and talk about all the champions here, and I feel like the tools were all here for Immortals to win. You've got a Camille who got through laning phase okay, and generally speaking, you expect Camille to keep Rumble busy and just battle the 1v1. And if Jayce wants to split push, then it's even better for Camille. She built all armor this game. You got, as you mentioned, a Graves and Ahri who were ahead, and these are not only 2 great champions, but the 2 best roles for turning their early leads into the rest of the game. And yeah, AShe MF were winning the lane early on. I got to give some props to Cody Sun, who's been getting progressively better throughout the year. It's his rookie split. You give him a bit of slack the first couple of weeks, but now he's been consistently, I would say, solid to good almost every single game at this point.
Right, I mean, there's not many times anymore where you see him like horribly misplaying a team fight where he's like flashing into a wall, some of that stuff we were seeing early in the year. For the most part, he's shored up his play and it looks good. And this was a game that, based off the early game, the other team comp is very squishy. They don't have a ton of defensive tools. You think if you start winning around with your mid and top lane,
you just dive him.
Yeah, you start 1-3-1. You set up these dives with your AShe arrow. Maybe you TP it to the Ahri. You have a lot of plays that you can make. But before they really got online and opened the map up, they made that big mistake around the dragon.
Yeah, 22-minute Drake fight is what I'm going to bring up here, and it is Pobelter really screwing the pooch. They land an arrow, and he's like, it's my time to shine, bring out the sundials, and goes badly.
You still got to, even though there's a stunned AD carry, you need to consider that you're diving past the other 3 members of his team, and your team can't follow up at all. He could have waited, played that a little slower. Flame was on the TP flank, just wait for him to get involved in the play. Camille will isolate him, and you can slow play that fight. You're in a good position, and you're ahead over the course of this game. Pobelter throws his life away as the most fed member of the team, and then after that, it's a pretty easy turn off onto the rest of Immortals, and Dardoch can't really get out here anymore, and it ends up being that 3 for 1. And after that throw, I thought EnVy did a good job of kind of playing from an even state where it can be scary playing the Jayce in like the kind of split push against the Ahri. There's a lot of members of the enemy team who can join in and start picking you off, but it was actually EnVy who was getting a lot of pickoffs onto Immortals.
Yeah, they're landing good cocoons, they're landing like really good shock blast chunks out here, and they've got, I mean, every single champion on that roster has some kind of like 1,000 range plus follow-up tool. Cocoon, Grasping Roots, and I mean, everyone has some kind of ability, and EnVy kept finding these opportunities. Our second replay we're going to bring up is a 35-minute team fight that EnVy wins once again, this time more off their own volition.
Right, and this is after they kind of turned it around. We see Apollo actually had a decent game on Jhin as well, a lot of good ultimates. This one, able to get a number of members really low, and at this point, it was just they over-focused the Rumble a little too hard after they blow him up, and then Ninja actually had a really, really good Jayce game. We talked about him kind of dealing with the 1-3-1 a little bit, but he also played team fights really well. He had a number of shock blasts. You see, not the highest damage in the game, but there's a lot of high damage and members on your team, so you can't kill everybody, right? Eventually their health bars run out.
You do well in the support. Zyra is actually last on the team. I think that never happens. I would be surprised I wouldn't be surprised if this was the first time that Zyra actually got last place in damage in the squad, because she's normally doing a whole bunch, and yeah, at this point, EnVy just kind of kept walking over the game. They closed it out, wanted to give player of the game honors to Ninja specifically. It was somewhat of a toss-up. I think there were, some debates to be had. LirA had a pretty decent game as well, but Ninja seemed to be making the most of the games. Like, he was the one saying, all right, we're gonna follow through on this, I'm gonna flash forward. He landed a lot of those 800 damage shock blasts that kind of cracked the game open, and he just seemed he seemed most consistent in that regard. Some missteps because, hey, it's a sloppy game that's going to happen, but deserving of it.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, a lot of the plays that EnVy were able to make happen were centered around Ninja. Sure, the Jayce doesn't have the CC, but they would join him up, so you'd have the Jhin starting something off, or maybe the Elise, but it was mostly around Ninja who was able to convert into the kills. And aside from one time he got picked off split pushing in the bot lane, it was a pretty clean game out of Ninja. Yeah. When that's kind of one of the biggest complaints that most people have about him, is that he tends to get caught out of position in places that...
Like way too aggressive.
Yeah, most people don't get caught out in. And so this was a game where he was on the pokey, damage-dealing Jayce, and he wasn't like frontlining or something crazy, which you sometimes saw last season with him on Victor.
Yeah, so then let's move forward and talk about, as we've seen some EnVy successes, I want to talk about Immortals a bit more. It feels like this is a team that tilts a lot. where you've got like games where Dardoch like hard carries and games where Dardoch's like, I'm 2-7. I flashed into a wall. Ooh, guess I didn't kill you, Apollo. A little bit unlucky there. And like,
and after this game starting so well before that kind of throw at 22 minutes, you are concerned heading into game 3 because we saw in the Team Liquid series where once things started going bad, it did not seem like he had the mental fortitude to bounce back. Yeah. It's been plaguing him on and off his whole career. We saw movies about it. It's a big concern, and he seems to have done better at certain parts over the course of this season, but it doesn't seem like he's totally over that kind of emotional response to games not going well, and especially when it's more off the back of his teammates, where I thought for the most part he was playing okay this game.
Yeah, he was until they start just kind of stringing everything up, and then EnVy gets the control back, because it was certainly a winnable game for like almost the entirety of it. The last 25 minutes is within 3K. Any team can win that game if you just say, okay, focus, win a team fight, get a pick, we're good to go. I mean, Cody Sun was landing arrows. Of course, Apollo's landing the deadly flourishes and the current calls as well. So like, the opportunity to open up people is there. Both these teams had the ability to start the fights out, but EnVy just started playing the late game better, and they kept control of it. So now we go into the game 3 where it's anyone's to have.
Yeah, and I think a big thing to look at is also Flame a little bit that game. Yeah. He didn't have too impressive a Camille game. Like, wasn't a ton of split pushing, wasn't isolating people out and kind of blowing anyone up. He built a lot of armor, which kind of made some sense given the team comp they were against, but it was a little too much because they still have
Rumble Elise Zyra is still
it's still a lot of magic damage. So it was a little surprising to see him so tanky, and I don't know. It felt like he could have done a little bit more in the split push situation versus just what he was up against.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Well, we're going to see if these teams can shape up and play even better into Game 3 to see who can close out the match, and we're going to see who can tie it up and who can win it. Just a few minutes, we'll be back with the North American LCS as Immortals continue to take on Team EnVy. See you there.
He's going to make a desperation play. Instantly gets out of the way. Olleh does incredible damage with the ultimate. A big equalizer is going to separate them all. EnVy just going to take it all here. Nexus exposed, a double kill for Apollo, and EnVy going to push it to a final game.